Hello, everyone. It's Gabrielle from A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. We have yet another episode of our installment of our sponsor spotlight, and today we have a brand new sponsor with us. Her name is, I want to make sure I say your name right, Takia Phillips?
Yeah.
Takia.
Yes.
Takia Phillip, yes. Takia Phillip from Get a Sitter. Did I say that all right?
Yes, my last name is actually Philp. Everybody gets that wrong. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it looks so much similar to Philip. Yeah.
All right. Well, Miss Philp, thank you for coming on today. All right, so let's get started. Let's give you a spotlight on your business. All right, so tell us about your business. What's it all about?
Well, Get a Sitter is an app-based business. So a parent who's in our local area, which we serve currently Tampa Bay area in Florida, they can download the app and they can view all of our pre-approved and background checked and screened home care providers. And they can submit a request and that provider can come to their home and provide childcare for them. So it's very convenient, easy to use, and they're just trying to meet the needs of the family, especially around the COVID times. But this is something that I believe parents will continue to need. We've seen a lot of people still need in-home child care service. So, we're really excited to be able to offer this to the families here in Florida.
All right, and tell us what made you decide to start this business?
I started this business because, well, first of all, I have a child. He's 9 years old now, and he has autism. And it was very difficult for me to find childcare. He couldn't really go to traditional childcare centers like other children were able to do. And it was very hard for me when I needed a sitter. And I just thought that there had to be an easier way if I could see the background qualifications of people. And one convenient way, it would just allow me to be able to choose who will be coming into my home and providing childcare for my child. And I felt it puts the parent in that leadership role, in that, role where they can make choices, the best choice for their family.
Okay. And so you hire, what is it? You hire nannies, babysitters? What do you hire?
We hire individuals who have a passion for childcare. They don't have to have experience as a nanny, but we do like to see some type of experience with working with children. We have nannies, or we call them child care providers, in-home providers that have maybe have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or done some type of training dealing with early childhood and young children. They all don't have experience with special needs children, but we do have individuals with different experience. So on their biography, that's on our app, you can see what their skills and their interests are, and what they've worked with. So we have one individual who just works with children 0 to 5. So that's somebody who maybe someone who's very interested in having someone work with their child doing preschool, getting them ready for preschool, basically, but doing that in the home. Maybe that's the first time parent or someone who's just not sure how to go about doing those things they could hire someone, or even someone who's just working and unable to be there with their child. They know someone who has experience and a passion for toddlers or infants. They can make them feel more comfortable when they're at work.
And so is it specifically for special needs children, or is it for any children, any kind of child?
Right. It is for any child. They don't have to have any special needs. You, the parent, can select the most appropriate person that meets your needs. So just looking at their background, we do a fingerprint background check. So a lot of nanny services or some of those apps that you go on, they do background checks, but they're not always doing the fingerprint background checks. So we're able to retain those fingerprints. So even after we do the initial fingerprint, we can monitor if that person came into contact with law enforcement or something, then we would receive information about that and decide if that person is still eligible to work with children. So we take working with children very seriously, the safety of children and the needs of the families.
All right. So what exactly do the providers do? So they get them ready for school, that they do the cooking, cleaning, meal preparation, like what exactly do they do?
So yes, the providers can do all of those things. They can, I don't want to repeat everything you said, but definitely do all those things. Whatever the parent has, if the parent has a kind of a schedule that they want the providers to follow, they can do that. If there's working with them on homework or taking them to soccer practice or whatever else. We also do like driver's license checks. If that is, if it's driving is a part of that job, then we can also do a driver's license check as well. But it's very important to talk to us about that so that we can make sure all of the insurances and everything are set, because we do want to make sure everybody is safe.
Awesome. All right, so yeah, let's revisit the credentials a bit, because I know, you know, parents are they're protective, they're very eager, they definitely want to make sure everybody is safe. So let's go into the credentials of your providers. So you say you do background checks. What else do you do? You said fingerprint, background. What else? What else do you do?
So we will look at every provider will have to have at least a high school diploma. If they do have a college degree, we will check to make sure that we look at the diploma. We don't necessarily look at transcripts unless that is something that the parent wants. We can do a deeper background check, but we just verify that the individual receives that credential, whether it's a high school diploma or a college degree.
So, all right, at least a high school diploma, background check, fingerprint check, driver's license check.
Also CPR and first aid. That's one of the checks that we do. We just verify that they have those credentials that are up to date, and we make sure that if it's approaching their due date that we inform them to get those done and updated. And we, those are the ones that we typically do. As a in-home childcare provider, there are not specific credentials that you need because you're not working in a center and you're basically following the wishes of the family, their schedule. So there's, we just like to have these things to make sure that the person is qualified to take care of the child. But if the parent has specific requests, like maybe bilingual or something like that, we can also look for someone who is basically meeting all of the parents' needs. But as far as having a credential through like the county, we are not obligated to do that, but we can look for those things if that's what the parent desires.
All right, so I'm a customer. I have a 3-month-old and excuse me, and I need a provider. What do I do? Take me through the steps.
Well, I would suggest that first you download our app. It's available on iOS as well as Android. And once you sign in, you'll be able to see the providers that we have listed. If there isn't anyone listed that meets your needs, you can contact us directly through our email address, info@getasitternow.com. And then we would be able to talk to you to see what your needs are and see if we have someone that is in the pipelines coming up that could meet your needs, and we can expedite their background check and that sort of thing. If you don't have a smartphone, we also have a web version. If you go to our website, you'll be able to access our web version of the website that you can select a provider and submit a request. On our app, we also have the ability, if you would like to meet the provider, like over the Zoom, like we're doing here, so that you can get to know them and see who's coming into your home. You will be able to do that. We also have lesson plans and just different activities that are age appropriate for children, and all of that information is listed. So if you're looking for something to do with a preschooler and you're looking for like, how do I teach number recognition, you can go on our lesson plan and pull that up and get some ideas, some books. We also have a YouTube channel that you can see one of our top childcare providers who kind of takes you through the steps of teaching your children, or if it's someone, if you want the provider to do that, you can put that in your schedule and they will be able to do that with your children. So we try to provide all the information up front so that families can understand what they're getting into, but it's also very specific to your needs. So if we need to tweak something or something does not appear, then we always are able to, most of the time, we're able to satisfy any other request.
That is amazing. Now, I'm sure you can imagine you have a lot of competition. You know, you have the care.com, which is a big one. So how do you set yourself apart from the competition?
Well, we are different because we do talk to each care provider. We do an interview with them and we do a meeting with them. So on care.com, there's not the same one-on-one attention that you would get from us. So as far as the child care provider, we really meet them and make sure that they're meeting the standards and they have a passion for working with children before they even appear on our site. So anybody who's on our site, they have had the background check and you can be comfortable with knowing that they have received the same background check as everyone else that's on the site. We also are just in our own little area here in Florida. So because of that, we're able to really, I think that helps us meet the needs of the families a lot better because we're not like a corporate, not that there's anything wrong with that, and maybe one day we will get there, but at this time, we're very, just a small local company, and we can definitely work with the people in our area to meet their needs. We're very familiar with the school districts here and things like that, so that just kind of helps us just meet the needs a little bit better.
All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so tell us more about you. How is it being an entrepreneur these days?
Wow, that's a good question. It's very, it's exciting. It's stressful, especially during the pandemic times, even though, are we safe? Are we not safe? It's kind of confusing right now. Some parents want the same precautions as before, but the state may have lifted some, so some are not as cautious. So it's basically just taking it day by day and just listening to the customer and what they want and what they need and trying to meet those needs the best that we can. So it's exciting, it's stressful, but I love it.
What do you love about it?
I have always loved working with children and just being in that environment of helping the families. That's kind of what my background is. Before I came into this field, I was working with the families. So, getting them ready and getting them mentally prepared to send their children off to kindergarten. That was one of the things that we did, and parent meetings and just working with the families and understanding their needs. And as a mother myself, knowing kind of the things that I wanted for my child. And, most parents want the same thing. They want their child to have the best and to live out their dreams and just have, the tools to live the way they want to live. And it's interesting to kind of step out and be the person who's doing that for your child, but also helping another family and not putting my own, wants into someone else, but kind of helping them develop and understand what they want and get them to their goals. Because we all have different goals, but it's important to have goals and keep moving forward to those things. So that's always fun to see someone, whether it's a family or a child, a parent, reaching those goals. It makes me feel really good.
And tell us about the challenges of being an entrepreneur.
Well, right now, I would say the biggest challenge is actually onboarding. So it's this time right now, we're like in Florida, especially, we're going toward a $15 an hour minimum wage. So it's trying to attract good people and keeping their wages competitive with other companies that that they could be working for. You have to have a passion for children. It may not be the career that's going to pay you the most, but it's a career that if you love it, it's very rewarding. So just trying to find that balance of making sure the customer is happy, making sure that the employees are happy. It's a different time than I think other times, but it's nothing that we can't prepare for. So it's always something that we can prepare and do our best to make it through.
And speaking of onboarding, so what do you offer your employees? Like, what do you have to attract employees? What am I trying to say? What are your perks? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting question because we're always trying to reevaluate that. And right now we can offer flexibility. So for individuals who need a flexible schedule, we can definitely work with you. We would love to have someone who can just work hours that other people aren't willing to work. And if you do work those hours, there is a compensation. So we do compensate you for those hours that aren't as desirable, I guess. Or if there's a last minute request, then you would be compensated for that. So we're trying to do what we can to make sure that that our employees are taken care of, but we listen to them as well. So that's the basic thing that we can offer. At being a small company, all we can offer is listening and doing our best and being kind of transparent and flexible. So.
All right. Awesome. All right. So, all right. So let's talk about your goals. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, it would be lovely to be in other areas. Right now we're in like Tampa Bay, which consists of 5 counties in Florida, central, like not really central, but you know. But if we could move into central Florida and south and the other side of Florida, that would be phenomenal. I would love to do that. Just expanding and growing and continuing to meet the needs of the families and our workers. If we could just be one of the, just a name that people recognize, a name that people associate with reliability and just some, we just want to be a household name and want people to, when they think of who can I go to get my needs met, that they would choose us.
All right, awesome. All right, so we're just about to wrap up here. So you're one of our new sponsors. So tell us, since we are a tutoring company, tell us when you hear the word education, what do you think of?
Education is such a big word. It depends. Like for me, it's early childhood education, but for someone else, it could be, different levels. If someone who's not even in a school, just self-learning, that's education. And it doesn't have to be academic. It could be, physical. So education is such a broad term. It's just the desire to keep going, to keep growing and learning new things every day. I believe that is education. If it's something that is standardized, then you can kind of compare your growth compared to someone else. That's more of the traditional sense of education, but education is such a big thing that, just continuing to learn, or even like if you want to plant or start a garden, that's education. So it's so many different things that you can do, but just continue to keep growing and learning. Any interest that you have, just keep trying to learn as much as you can.
That's awesome. Oh, something just came to me. So now in this age of COVID and vaccinations, I'm sure there's parents out there that want providers to be vaccinated. So do you have that information to share with them?
Yes. Well, it's a fine line because of HIPAA. If someone only wanted to work with someone who had a vaccine that was fully vaccinated, it would definitely be the choice. We don't require the employees to be vaccinated at this time, but if the employee wants to volunteer that information to make the parent feel more comfortable and at ease, then we can definitely just work with that parent and only suggesting those individuals who have been vaccinated. Yeah.
So you yourself, through HIPAA, can't share that information, but the parent can ask the employee directly.
Well, if the employee wants to volunteer that information, then we can share that information, but we don't require the employees to give us that information. We don't require vaccinations at this time. So it's kind of one of those, case by case scenarios of, just finding the right family and the right care provider who kind of just mesh well together, have the same values. So that's something that a parent would just definitely give us a call or email us, and we will be able to suggest those individuals who meet those qualifications and the parents' criteria.
And then just going back to how to book a provider. So let's say I'm on the app, I find someone that looks interesting. What happens there? Like, do I Do I contact the person directly? Do I contact you? How does that work?
Okay, so you can do a request in two ways. You can do just a general request where at the bottom of the app, you'll see request a provider, fill out all your information, submit it, and then we will find someone that meets your needs, and you will be able to select which one that best meets your needs. Or if you look at the biography of the person and you want to request that person, you will submit a request under their biography. There's a little toggle thing. You just click on that and all of those requests will come to us and we will let the provider know and work on schedules and make sure that that person is available during the times that you need. So it takes about it could take a couple days, it could take a week or two or a week and a half. We try not to drag it on too long, but if you have more requests or more requirements, then it may take a little bit longer. But generally, we can find someone within a week.
Okay, awesome. And how old do the children have to be to use to use the platform?
We will work with children probably no younger than 6 weeks, but up to 17 years old. So even if it's a child that has a disability and they need someone to kind of monitor them, then we can work with them up to 17 years old.
Okay, awesome. I'm sure that the most popular question is going to be, what are your rates?
Yes. So that is also, it's on our website. We are transparent with our rates, but it really depends on your needs, the number of children you have. Is it a request that is less than 24 hours? Or is it, even if you need someone to work while you're there, like maybe like a mother's helper or a parent's helper versus having someone that is watching your children while you're away. So there's a lot of different factors that go into the price, but you can see it on our website. It is transparent. And if you add up all of the different criteria, then you can come up with the rate that you will be charged. I don't really want to say because there's so many different factors, but we do also charge a service fee. So that's something that is definitely also transparent and available. So if you look and add up everything, you will get the price that we would charge. But our website is www.getasitternow.com and all of our prices are there.
So it's a sliding scale. So pretty much the more things that you want, the more you'll have to pay.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the sooner you want someone, the more you have to pay.
Right. If we have to have a lower, like a 24-hour notice to get someone to you, then that would be more because it just takes a little bit more on our end and getting people excited about, a short, maybe they have to reschedule something else. And we just want to give people that time and that respect of giving them enough time to plan to be there with you and with your child.
What about discounts, referrals? I know people like to try to get their friends in, so any kind of.
Yes, we just had one that ended June 30th. So we're going to have to come up with something else very soon, but we do run specials often, referrals, especially if you refer someone, we would like to say thank you. So we'll be, we haven't decided on what that is just yet, but if you follow us on our social media pages, then you'll be able to see that, or we also post it on our website. So you come to us and just check often to see those, or even if you sign up for our email address, email list, then we can email you when we do run those promotions.
All right, awesome. All right, well, that wraps it up then. Thank you so much, Miss Philp, for your time. And we at A Step Ahead hope that you see much, much success in your business. And we hope that it grows and blossoms and becomes huge.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And the same with you. You're awesome. And I love everything that you're doing, and especially working with those children that really need it the most. So I wish you much success as well.
Awesome. Sorry, I just had one more question.
Mhm.
So if for families that have special needs children, if they want a provider that works specifically with those kinds of children, is that a higher rate as well?
It is because those providers charge more. They have more education, more experience, you know, so we do compensate them more for that education and experience.
Okay. Oh, so your platform lets the providers choose their own rates?
No, but just to, I guess, to retain those workers, we have to basically pay what they would get in other places. So we're trying to remain competitive by offering them just a higher rate.
Okay, so you guys set the rate, but the more experience a customer wants, the more they have to pay.
Correct.
All right, awesome. All right, Ms. Philp, thank you so much for your time, and you have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, that's it for our interview. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. And one more thing, where can I'm all over today. Where can we find you? Rattle off your contact information.
Okay, so you can email me at info@getasitternow.com. Our website is getasitternow.com, as well as YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. And yeah, so just getasitternow.com. You can find us everywhere.
Instagram, Twitter.
Pinterest, Facebook, and YouTube.
All right, and all that information will be provided in the bio. Thank you guys so much. And that's it. Signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in.